Hey guys, let me tell you something. This is your friend. This dice. If you have a dice and put it in your bag, in your box to take to all your classes, and just keep it with you whenever you go to class, this will serve you greatly. Because I'm going to tell you an activity now that I do as typically opening routine, an opening activity, whatever you want to call it, but I do it as a first activity. And it's to actually review the vocabulary from the previous class, right? So let me tell you a little bit about how it works, how I use this in class. So in each class, I give vocabulary, right? I take vocabulary when the students tell me something, when we're speaking, and they have a question of vocabulary. I write it down on the side of the board. If you're CELTA trained, you know that this is called a car park, and you write the vocabulary on the side, ideally for the students to review, right? Or to write them in their notebook and then review. So then the following class, I'll take those vocabulary from the previous class or the previous classes. Then we'll review at the beginning of each class. And I'll take this dice and I'll write on the board either, it depends on whether I want to do draw, act, or describe, or just draw and act. If it's a lower level classes, don't do describe, but draw and act. So the idea is, let's take draw and act. We have even numbers and odd numbers. By the way, what a great teaching moment. Teach them even numbers and odd numbers, right? And I write on the board, odd numbers are draw, even numbers are act, whatever you want. If I do draw, act, and describe, I do numbers 1 and 4 are draw, 2 and 5 are act, 3 and 6 are describe, right? And they'd have to describe the word, and then their team has to guess the word. Okay, you can do this in two parts, right? There are two options. One is if it's a small class, I would just have one person come up, show them the word, and then they would act or draw, and then everyone in the class guesses what it is. Basic. If it's a bigger class, like 6 people, 8 people, 10 people, divided into groups, and whoever guesses it first, right? Basic Pictionary or charades, or describing, right? So this little tool, and then plus in the beginning of the class, when you pick out the dice, it's an immediate attention grab because the students love to touch things, right? They love to be involved physically. They love the act of rolling the dice, right? Because they're getting up, they're getting active, and that's what we want, right? We don't want them to just sit there and listen and repeat. They want to be active. We want them to be active. And this is a great way. It's a small tool. It's a small thing, but they will get into it. When they see you pull out the dice, they'll get excited, especially if they're like 10, 11, 12 years old. You can also do it with 15, 16, 17-year-olds. I did it with them too. They love it also. So if you don't have one, get one and start using it in your opening routines. And let me know how it goes.